Okay, this is like a continuation of the previous video where I was talking about bracing. Now I want to talk a little bit about this port. As you can see, this is a 6-inch cylindrical port. The usable length from just below this radius going straight down the middle to the middle, and up here, that's 31 inches, which is the longest I can make this port. I would have liked to have made it, 36 inches long, because I'm tuning kind of low. I want it tuned around 22 to 24. But really, this is the maximum I can go. And even at this point right here, I've got 5 inches of clearance. Now, generally, the rule of thumb is that you want enough clearance on the back side of the port as you have diameter. It's a 6-inch diameter, so theoretically I would want 6 inches here. I don't really have the room. I don't think it's going to matter that much, because I'm very rarely ever going to apply like all 3,000 watts or so. This is going to be a sound quality box, so it's going to be relatively low air velocity through these ports. I don't think I'm going to get into a situation where it's going this 5-inch gap is going to be restrictive in any way. I might put some additional radius just to smooth out the airflow, because I do need to put one of the black ABS pieces in, have it come up, and then maybe I could do a little radius, which would take up about 1/4 of an inch. So then it would be like 4 3/4 inch clearance. I think that's what I'm going to aim for, because it's pretty difficult for me to cut this down nice and even. I might try that. If I cut maybe a 1/2 inch here, then I could do a little bit of a radius with the black piece that slides in, and still be at around 5 inches, maybe 5 1/4. I just want to make sure I'm not going to lose any, make this gap any smaller. The tuning frequency is more important to me. But anyway, after doing all the research, I cannot figure out any way to make the ports longer. This is the longest I can make the ports. If this turns out bad and I end up with a tuning frequency of, say, 27, 28, which is definitely going to be too high for me, I do have 2 different alternatives. I can possibly use a reducer right here, go from 6-inch to 5-inch, and then run a 5-inch port in the same general shape. The smaller area of the 5-inch is going to raise the tuning frequency. It'll still probably be 31 inches roughly, but the tuning frequency go up. The only problem is it's hard to get 5-inch tubing, or 5-inch PVC or ABS. The other alternative is I could stick with all 6-inch ABS tubing, which is what this is. This is 1/8 inch wall black ABS drainage pipe, basically. I could make the whole assembly out of this, get several pieces, and then I could basically do some chops. Oh, the important thing to remember is that I would take this, in order to get a smaller diameter, I would heat it up. I would take the 2-foot sections, heat it up, and ovalize it. I would make it squished like this. And doing that is going to shrink the amount of surface area, but I could do it in a controlled manner. I could have more surface area than a 5-inch diameter piece of pipe, but less than 6, and still maintain good airflow. So I could fine-tune the surface area. And then, like I said, I could do like a 45-degree cut here and another one 45, etc. Extend it, You know, or I could do a more radius. I could do multiple cuts here to get an even smoother airflow. That is a possibility. It's a lot of work. I hope I don't have to go through all that, but you know, in order to get the proper tuning frequency, that's more important. And you know, while I've got everything in here, I'll explain that the black piece that's going in here, it's going to have a little extended lip that's going to ride up. See if I can get it focused. It's going to ride up, and then I'm going to put a notch in the side with a screw, and that's going to support the weight of this support. Right now I've got it on a piece of wood, but yeah, I'm going to have the 2 screws here and then 1 screw over here, and it'll basically be suspended, so it's not going to be touching any of these the larger pieces, like this front piece, the bottom piece, the back piece. It's not going to touch those, which may have a tiny bit of mechanical vibration to them. It's pretty much all going to be bolted to this thick top baffle, and right up here near this edge where there's going to be very minimal amount of vibration and, you know, mechanical movement, and hopefully that'll allow this to stay together and not be vibrated to pieces. Anyway, that's it for this video. This is a quick look. I might paint these ports black at the bottom, have it all black, because this is going to be stained dark. I don't know if I'm going to go with a dark brown or possibly like a royal blue kind of stain with clear coat. But either way, these ports are going to stay black, and I'm probably going to do a black paint there, so when you look down into it, it's all going to be dark and black. But then on this side over here, you can see I've already painted everything on the exterior wise. It's going to be white. This is black inside, white outside. I think it looks pretty good. And that's about it for this particular video. Thanks.